On this week's episode of Marketing O'Clock,
Google has a new core update and the norm core motivation behind it.
If you've been seeing a little more blue, it's because Google's new sneaky link rumors are true.
we debunk a scary conspiracy theory about audiences in demand gen. Kind of.
All on today's show.
Welcome, you are listening to Marketing O'Clock. Just stay tuned. Digital marketing news, but let's get specific. Digital ads, SEO and analytics, social media and more. Pretty much everything that'll make your website perform. With new shows every Friday. We give you the news with sass and puns and definitely hot takes. Thank you for tuning in. You know what time it is. It's officially Marketing O'Clock. Settle in, sit back, keep it locked.
Hey there, I'm Christine Zernheld.
AKA Shop.
I'm Julia Matier,
And I'm Greg Finn.
and it's officially Marketing O'Clock.
Here on November 15th, 2024. And before we get into the news this week, we want to thank AdsVisor for sponsoring this week's show. AdsVisor is the tool that you need, PPC people, to talk to your marketing data intuitively and analyze it affordably. And we talk a lot about, we're like big time like Google, Microsoft people. But this truly connects with all of the ad platforms that you need to do your work. So let's look at the full list here because it's truly insane. Google Ads, Facebook Ads, Google Analytics 4, Google My Business, Instagram, Klaviyo, LinkedIn Ads, MailChimp. Like everything that you need as an advertiser, Pinterest ads.
They have Pinterest too.
Yes, Shopify,
Just don't tell me they have Snapchat.
Snapchat,
Oh my gosh.
TikTok, and WooCommerce Connector. So these tools, like we're all using them differently. We have like one monthly budget for our client. We have like certain results we need for our client, and we're using all of these different platforms. And AdsVisor takes all of that data, and you can use ChatGPT, Looker Studio, or Google Sheets to see all the data across these platforms and really make informed decisions. And what's amazing about it is there are similar tools, but AdsVisor has simple and transparent and low pricing. Like I feel like I'm robbing Goo from AdsVisor with these prices. It starts with 3 data sources out of that whole list I gave you for $24.99 a month. And then from there, you can kind of scale up on their site and see based on the number of your data sources that you have, how much it would cost for you or your clients. But start with 3 and see if you like it. And then if you need to add something else, you can. They make it super, super easy. So don't just take our word for it. Check out AdsVisor for yourself. You can get more information at adsvisor.com, ADZVISER.com. Thank you, AdsVisor. And getting into the news this week, Ginny Marvin tweeted this week to let us know that Google Ad Manager, so like the publisher side of things, is launching new sell-side audience creation capabilities. So from the article, it says, by the way, this is like peak. I know I complain every time, but like, were you the one that put it in ChatGPT and put that in my notes?
Yes, I ChatGPT'd it so I could understand
like,
what it is.
Especially when you're like not on the sell side and you like don't know what to look for. Like it's not like it was like a advertiser article that I was reading and like knew everything. I was like, what even is this?
Yes. And even before you do this, let me remove some additional confusion that you probably have. What you're talking about is Ad Manager product from Google. You are not talking about Google Ads Manager.
No S.
That S does a lot of heavy lifting there when describing what we're talking about. Right? So Ad Manager is a specific product. Google Ads Manager accounts are the ones where you can add multiple accounts.
Yeah. Like, could you make it any harder?
Honestly, no. Like, no. I swear, we're training somebody new, right? Every time we train somebody new, I have like soul-crushing anxiety about how I'm going to explain what an exact match keyword is from a negative perspective and what it is from a real keyword.
I'm just sitting there the whole time like, I cannot believe I have to say this to you. And I just apologize.
I know. I'm like, this is so ridiculous. There's something out. I did it this morning. I'm like, there's something out there called identical matching. It's not a real thing, but it only exists in this weird world of PMAX and search. And then when it's identically in there, it takes over precedence over PMAX, but it's not a real thing and you can't really tell what it is.
Yeah. The words have no meaning.
None.
So this is what the article says. So it's called curation also, which is like, it's a curation tool and it's just called curation. It's a new capability that simplifies how agencies discover and activate their ideal inventory. It allows them to easily connect with trusted partners to explore curated inventory packages and activate data segments directly within their agency account. By curating inventory and audiences on the sell side, agencies tap into a wealth of insights that can fuel more accurate forecasting and increased match rates. And it seems like a big positive of this is that with this tool, agencies can now curate inventory and audiences directly within Google Ad Manager. So it's going to be easier than ever to create your audiences and ideal auction packages. Also, they're simplifying payments because Google Ad Manager now handles all the billing, which is like, what was it doing before? I need some insights here. Like, they don't do the billing and you can't build the audiences in there. Somebody let me know. And they're also launching a new partnership with data providers so you can select the segments that make sense for you. And they also said that agencies can now select low emission inventory segments.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
To align. So this is like, I went to the optimizer talk at SMX London and somebody asked Nava about like the concerns of AI and emissions and like ChatGPT and emission and sustainability. And I was just kind of like, oh, like
What?
not something I think about a lot in our industry, but I guess it's something people talk about. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of computing power, a lot of like electricity, but also like, aren't there other ways to figure that out and be like, hey, let's go set up some solar panels. Like, what are we doing here?
I don't know.
And it's also like, I think about this and it's like, oh, I'm selecting the inventory I'm looking at. Meanwhile, there's like air cleanliness warnings in other countries because it's just a cloud. And it's like this inventory audience segment that I'm choosing against all the mess happening. Like, how much is this doing? But I agree, this is a good thing here.
It's nice.
I personally, I'm less about the inventory emissions and more about having Google Ads Manager or Ad Manager just load. I would just like it to load.
Yeah, using all the emissions in the world and you can't get it to load.
I'm going to get canceled for that take. Oh, well.
Sorry. I'm sure if we knew like the real repercussions of the sustainability impact,
Yeah.
so somebody please educate us. But that's that on that, publishers. What else is
Solar
happening?
panels. Let's go.
Yeah.
Next up, Google's testing subheadline links under search ad title links. This was first spotted by Anthony Higman, who posted on X. It basically just looks like a blue callout link under the main headline link. And it seems like it's just a test right now, but I kind of like what it looks like. It's just up instead of where it's in its usual spot. But
I like it.
yeah, same.
I would expect that your click-through rates will go up with this.
Mm-hmm.
Unless people are like, oh, that's an ad, I don't want it.
Yeah.
But no, it's nice.
Nobody does that.
Yeah.
Except for hopefully advertisers and our clients.
Yeah.
Some other news here. There is a new core update rolling out as we speak right now.
I
Shan.
can feel it.
You can feel it?
Yeah.
Well, that's shocking because there's like no activity.
It's that chart we talked about last week.
Well, Barry is like a sensible. I'm going to call him an SEO. He's going to get mad at me. He's
What
a
does he
sensible
identify as?
a reporter.
Okay.
He's non-biased. He has no takes. He's just there to report facts. But so he doesn't share all the fun charts and graphs until like things have actually rolled out, because you just can't make assumptions off of like one day of data, right?
Mm-hmm.
Other people do that, and I'm glad about that. But this was launched on November 11th. And according to Google, this update is designed to continue our work to improve the quality of our search results by showing more content that people find genuinely useful and less content that feels like it was made just to perform well on search. They just need to copy paste this thing. And for every core update, just hit the Control V, right? Like what? Of course. Like,
I think that's what they're doing.
yeah. I know. Google also said that it will take about 2 weeks to roll out. So just check your analytics, whatever tracking tools you have, Search Console, and see how this impacts you. And hopefully, I don't think anything has happened with HCU people yet. I've kind of been keeping an eye on it, just really hoping that they pull out of that mess that they're in. But yeah, about 2 weeks from the 11th, it should be done.
It'll be exciting to be at Brighton SEO
Yeah,
as this is rolling out.
yeah, and people got mad about the December update the one year. I think this is actually like worse. Like, this is this is peak in 2 weeks, right? Will be the 28th. That's peak Black Friday,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
right? I think that actually is Black Friday, right? The 28th?
Yeah.
No, that's Thanksgiving. So
Oh.
day one, if it's 2 weeks,
Yeah.
Black Friday.
Was the December update a couple years ago when it was like major drama? Like everyone was mad?
Yeah, because it's like you're in the middle of holiday season and all this. I mean, this is still, I would say this would be worse because at least you
I
got
would
Black
too.
Friday behind you and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But it was fun being at Brighton last year in San Diego when that article had come out about like the alligator parties.
Yeah,
So,
the goblins.
I feel like this won't live up to that, but
No.
it'll be fun
Yeah, that
to
was
be
great.
a part of all the chatter.
And if you're in Brighton SEO next week, or maybe this week when you hear it, because this launches on Friday, we've got some really cool swag specific to that Verge article. But we didn't go alligator route. We went the content goblin route.
And I feel like I've heard some people that don't know that it's also Hero Comp. It is. Like
Yeah.
there's Greg is doing a PPC talk.
Yes, I'm talking at HeroConf.
So come find us.
Yes, and we have PPC swag too. We got some cool koozies. Just come up, say you listen to the show.
There's
We
some
got
swag.
really good swag.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody will like it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like the death shirts that I make. You know what I mean? It's like this is like family, everybody friendly.
Yeah. So let us know if you're going. Can't wait to see some people.
And now for this week's
Cool tool.
As a reminder, our Cool Tool segment is not an official endorsement or paid mention. We're simply sharing something we found in our travels that may be of use to our listeners and is really, really cool.
This week's Cool Tool is a weekly SEO newsletter from SEO FOMO News. So it pulls in trending stories from the week, and you can filter by local SEO, general SEO, PPC, search updates, tools, and a bunch more. It's free to subscribe and has a ton of information. We'll have the link in our newsletter and in Discord, so check it out.
And I like this. It's like the old school spin that Search Engine Land used to have. Curated news by people that submit the stories. You can take this episode, you can go submit it there and get feedback on it. And then people can comment there. And I think a lot of people that have shied away from X just due to their beliefs and everything, this could be like another place for discourse. So I'm really into it and hope this really does well. I just love sites like this.
Now it's time for this week's Take of the Week. This is a hashtag fire digital marketing take with extra spice served up for you. We simply deliver the take for your consumption. We give no opinions. We don't influence. You make the call.
This week's Take of the Week comes from the one, the only Anthony Hickman. And Anthony is upset, Shep. He says,
He is?
Yes.
First.
you will not like this. He says, holy Jesus. Legit 95% of queries in this ad group are other brands. And then he says, not a good look, Google, and see you later keyword. Getting paused the F out. But I am doing that more and more these days to stop the wasted spend. And then he's got a little Trumpism in there where he just goes, not good, exclamation. You know? And the example that you can see he's got is the term felony lawyer. And the matches to the term, phrase match term felony lawyer, which one might think there's a phrase that includes felony lawyer, and you could maybe have best felony lawyer or an aggressive felony lawyer. What other adjectives would you have for felony lawyer?
Like a beautiful felony lawyer.
Okay. I didn't think that was going to be what you said, but it's all just people's names. There's no matching in there. It's like, oh, here's Brock Benjamin and Cynthia Barbar. It's like, no, this is the term of a person's name.
Yeah.
There is no phrase felony or lawyer there. There's not a phrase. And this is why it's so hard to explain everything is this is matching strictly to people's names.
Yeah.
And like all the work in the world, you cannot negate all of the names of every lawyer.
What is he saying he's doing more and more these days?
Just
Negating
I'm
things?
assuming turning off phrase match.
Oh. It's a sad world.
Wild.
Now it's time for this week's Pew Pew Lightning Round. At this point in the show, we split up our content into 3 parts: paid, organic, and social.
First up in the paid universe this week, there was a big scare at the end of last week because Thomas Essel shared something on LinkedIn, and it seemed like audiences. He was looking in his audience segments, and they were all listed as signals in this demand gen campaign. So he was worried that in all demand gen campaigns, audiences are now acting just as signals like they are in PMAX, which would be really bad if they just like change that overnight.
Correct. And can I just back it up and explain to everybody? You have an audience, which is a specific set of people that you can choose to target. You have an audience signal, which is a way to kickstart only a Performance Max campaign in what is called an asset group. And that's the only place you can find an asset group. And they don't have product groups in there. They have what's called listing groups.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the segmentation in demand gen here, there's now the term signal, which is not an audience signal. It's just saying signal, like optimized targeting is technically considered a signal, not an audience.
Right.
Correct? Did I get that right?
Somehow.
Pretty easy to understand, right?
No! Like, what? I didn't even think about that. So he just saw signal and interpreted it as audience signal, but it's using it in a different way.
Well, optimized targeting has been defined as a signal that is different than an audience signal. I do not know the specific difference between signal and audience signal. With PMAX, an audience signal can help jumpstart your campaign with more data, and then it can turn into whatever it wants. Optimized targeting is simply a signal. That's the difference.
And then optimized targeting is like hidden at the ad group level, so you don't know it's turned on when you're setting up a campaign. And then you like try to launch a remarketing campaign, and it has all this spend, and then you look at the audiences and realize optimized targeting was turned on. Like, they just make it so hard. Call something a signal, not an audience, if that's what it is.
Preach.
So that was the end of the story with this. Was he had optimized targeting turned on, so they were signals and not audiences. But that should be a major like lever that is completely different strategy. Like, that's not something you can just hide at the ad group level and turn on and off.
The thing that was the most egregious here is I didn't know that optimized targeting with demand gen, it is newer, would turn a lookalike into a signal.
Yeah.
You would think that a lookalike where you choose broad, narrow, or balanced, that would be an audience, right? Like, I thought that would act like an audience because you're choosing, like, it is being optimized as is. Why would you then take something that is being expanded and expand it more into what is a signal? Yeah.
It should be listed as completely different options. Like, do you want to have an audience, or do you instead they like start the same way?
The good news, Shep, though, I doubt that they'd have optimized targeting turned on by default.
Oh, well, you'd be wrong.
And that's the number one thing you see people doing incorrectly when they're doing remarketing is they just set the campaign up, they toss the audience in, they call it remarketing, and it is anything but, Shep, like you eloquently described.
There should be a campaign type that's just remarketing to make it easier for people, but they would never do that because they want us to spend more money.
I mean, you could just turn optimized off by default.
But a lot of people, oh yeah. Yes.
But guess what?
Yes.
Then people would spend substantially less. Okay.
Okay. More news.
How are we doing? We're doing good?
I think okay.
Okay.
Google is updating its customer match policy. So the new documentation says customers may lose customer match, meaning like advertisers, that first use of customer, lose customer match access if their ads have the potential to cause harm to users or create a poor user experience. Those are two like pretty different things.
Yeah.
Making this determination based on user feedback, prevalence or severity of abuse, and repeated violations of the customer match policy, you will get a warning before your account is suspended.
Can I say something about this? What user feedback is going to happen? People have no, like, we are in the profession and we go through and try to like sleuth and like uncover like forensically how these ads were showing. User feedback on this, how is that going to do anything? People are like, oh, I was targeted incorrectly by a customer match list because they have no idea.
Yeah. I don't even know.
Like, well, how would you do that? Who would you even complain to? Who's listening? Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah, they don't listen to us when we have problems as advertisers, so why would they listen to the people in the SERPs?
If you just hit the ad choices and say you don't like the ad enough, maybe that's a flag. I don't know.
Thomas also discovered that you can add a voiceover to your PMAX videos. I think I should like take up a new profession.
Yeah.
In a world of B2B SaaS.
Nobody wants to hear my voice, so you got it. The market.
Mine either. Barry Schwartz posted on Search Engine Land that Google is, can we say this now? Unpausing
Ads that were related to the 5th of November.
Yes. So they were paused on the 5th of November. They will now be reactivated November 11th. Has anyone else noticed in their accounts being unfairly categorized and ads being limited? Last week, an uptick of like people, Google thinking that my ads were related to November 5th when they were not. Just me? I think everyone should check because it was a big problem last week.
I know.
I had a bunch of ads paused. Next up, Google is showing both seller ratings and product ratings in a single Google shopping result. So this is for books. Now we know what Barry Schwartz is reading, Identity Unknown, Flicker in the Dark, and The Alchemist. Interesting. So they have the product rating. So in this example, a Flicker in the Dark is 4.5 stars. And then underneath there's a store rating too that doesn't display the stars, but it just says 3.9 out of 5. I think it's cool to have both. It's nice.
I recommend that he read the Paradox of Choice.
Have you
look it up?
Have you read it?
No.
Why am I looking it up?
It's for the listeners.
Oh.
Oh.
It's probably a really good book.
It's by his alter ego.
And that's it for paid. What's happening in organic?
This week's organic news section is brought to you by AdsVisor. And Shep, you talked about a lot of the really great pros that AdsVisor has. The pricing, which is substantially less than other folks out there in the connector space. But you know what else? They don't have expert mode. They don't have AdsVisor's GPTs. And with AdsVisor, Goo has fantastic documentation. And I just saw he had put a message out. I think it was on LinkedIn. He's like, oh, we got this stuff coming, but I got to get really good documentation first, right? Like he wants people to succeed. And if you want to use AdVisor's GPT, there's standard mode where you have limited control over the output. In an expert mode, you can customize your GPT configuration and utilize all of those endpoints for specific actions. You don't just have to use what's in AdsVisor. You can also integrate other actions to like Zapier. So fantastic stuff there. And if you are an agency, you are losing money if you are not using AdsVisor, because many of the competitors out there are just not as flexible, right? Like you have limits with other items on the number of accounts you can connect per source. You have caps on queries. You have just these limitations that hold you back, and you look at the price and you're like, oh, this might be okay. And then you just hit and hit and hit and hit. And that's the beauty of AdsVisor, is they have no restrictive barriers on marketers. Like you said, starting at just $24.99 a month. Please go check out AdsVisor, ADZVISER.com, ADZVISER.com. All right, and in the organic news this week, by way of Glenn Gabe, Microsoft is moving its news content services back under the MSN brand. They were previously in Microsoft Start branding. I don't use Microsoft for news, so this is all like new to me.
Is that like the things you get sent to your desktop?
I guess. Yeah, maybe. And Microsoft said, we regularly review our offerings to ensure we're delivering the highest value for customers. As a part of this review process, we are unifying our content services under the MSN brand to better simplify our experiences. I think that would be great if, you're running audience ads. And I know you're running some audience ads and doing well, right?
Yeah. And they're all MSN placements that are doing well.
Okay. From Search Engine Roundtable, there's sort of, I guess, a newer term being thrown around out there. Term drift in SEO. And Barry had a write-up. Apparently, Darth Autocrat on X had dubbed the phrase term drift, and Glenn Gabe shared a little bit about it. But basically, when the way something is referenced, it changes over time. And Shep, I got a good example, right? Back in the day, people would say yes, right?
Yeah.
And now somebody like a Julia, that term might drift over to bet.
She says it all the time.
Right? So
Yeah.
like if it's some way something is changing, that's just a stupid example, obviously, but things can be referenced differently over time, and it's sort of like a term drift. So Barry's got a big write-up over there explaining everything, and it's interesting if, you know, things change in industries or just the nomenclature of America or the world. Did I sound smart?
The Gen Z effect.
Okay, from SE Roundtable, there is a new, I call it like an accordion or expandable section within search. And it happens when there's like current sales. And so you can see if you're searching for a product, you can hit like a down caret button and see current sales. The example Barry has here is from Best Buy, Newegg, and eBay. And actually, Kashwal Barani, who finds everything, had some of those screenshots. And for anybody who doesn't know, I do a show daily called It's New over on the Rusty Brick YouTube channel. And I went off on SEOs on Wednesday about this. So Google Merchant Center has a sale events promotion type. And this is not at the product level. So this isn't like a product going on sale and having a normal price and a sale price. This is if you're a website out there that's having a sale. Right? Maybe you want people to understand the terms of the sale or land on a page. And let's say you're closing out all of your what you have in like a closeout section or something. You can have a final destination URL that you can input in Merchant Center, and you can send people to that location. And you also get what appears to be 3 different images that you can have that are these promotional images. One caveat, this has nothing to do with ads. And this is why I said this is what SEOs should be doing instead of whining, right? Like you should be going out there and saying like, okay, I can go optimize my feed, right? Like I can go use a feed tool, punch it up, try to make my products better. This is a great thing that you can do if you have a sale, to turn this on, send people to a specific page that gives more insight into what's happening. And this will not be impacting ads in any way. And I mentioned on It's New as well, if you are bitter about this as an advertiser, that's what site links are for. Mm-hmm. Use site links, right? Like you have these options. I think this is a cool way to help people see what current sales are for those free product listings. All right. And next up, there is an update with the way that creators and ad partnerships work on YouTube. I've talked about this for a while. I would assume that Google hates the fact that people get sponsors, and it's the number one way to make money on YouTube.
Yeah.
And you can now initiate ad partnerships directly through YouTube instead of waiting for advertisers to like contact them. That's kind of cool.
YouTube will probably take a cut.
I mean, I'm guessing that something's going to be the case down the road. Nothing mentioned now, but you can, right now it'll say includes paid promotion, right, Tables? That's what it says, or paid promotion if you have that. So we're going to have that because we have AdsVisor, the wonderful sponsor of today's show. But in this case, you can do it kind of like those, like Instagram, right? Mm-hmm. Where you can say, I'm going to link, and then you can also like restrict it. So it's only for approved advertisers. So somebody can't just come in and try to snake being a sponsor of the show. We're AdsVisor only.
That's good.
Okay. And I'm going to do just a little segment here called Checking In on AI. I didn't even read this article, but it's from Futurism. I'm just going to read the title. Character.ai is hosting chatbots that groom users who say they're underage. I can't believe how blatant it is. It's like, this is just what we need. The world's already a hellscape. This is what we need. We need AI turning against us and turning against our kids.
What? So some bad actor just made this?
No, I think it's just like AI is like looking at human beings and is like turning into them.
What?
I feel like AI always does that though. They're like, oh, there's a lot of like rotten apples out there. I'm just going to try to turn into a human and just use some bad humans to model after.
That's terrible.
Yeah. I couldn't even read the article. I'm like, I don't have time for this right now. I need to think happy thoughts. I need to think about our little fuzzy animals that came.
Oh, a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Last week.
That was nice.
Okay. And that's it in organic. And on a high note here, Julia, what you got in social?
All right. First for social, Instagram says it does not reduce the reach of sponsored content. So Adam Mosseri dismissed the rumor that they deliberately downrank posts tagged as sponsored content in order to force brands to pay for reach. Like a lot of people thought they did that, but he just says that like because people see the sponsored tag, they probably just scroll past it, which reduces engagement and then reach.
Can I say something?
Yes.
He's lying.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Everyone's like, yeah, maybe that could be the case, but they're also like, they like screw us over all the time anyway. So.
And what people do is they can say like technical truths and they'll be like, oh, it's not less reach, but it's something else. It's like the visibility score is lower. And it's like, yeah, we don't reduce reach. We reduce the visibility score. That's how it works, people.
Yeah. So, you know. Next, Instagram is testing an option that would enable you to generate an AI profile picture directly from your profile editing option. So this isn't really new for social media in general. Like Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat have similar options, but now Instagram's doing it. I think it's stupid and I hate it a lot. So
yeah, who asked for it?
Did you make one?
No.
Will you make one?
No.
Are there examples?
I'll make one then.
Yeah, there was an example.
You know who would probably use it? The reporter on this story, Alessandro Paluzzi.
Yep.
He's had this illustration forever.
Oh, he's still got a mask on.
Yep.
I'm going to make an AI version of you.
Okay. Some meta news from Bram Vanderhalen. Meta announced there will be less personalized ads for people in the EU. So the thing says, over the coming weeks, people in the EU who choose to use Facebook and Instagram for free with ads will be able to choose to see less personalized ads. This less personalized ads option relies on less data, so will show ads based only on context. So what a person sees in a particular session, and then a minimal set of data points, including an age, location, gender, and how they engage with ads. So weird.
Have fun seeing ads that are like not
Relevant to you. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Is the ask, you probably don't know, how it asked us a couple years ago if they wanted us to track us across apps. I feel like that was only the US. So
yeah,
it's probably.
I think it's just that. Yeah.
It's just now their time.
Yeah. So strange.
Sorry, I'm making an AI image of you.
Oh, great. It's a good picture. Thanks for picking that one. More news from Bram Vanderhalen. There's been an update to site links for Facebook ads. So you must now add at least 4 site links instead of 3. So it's a little update, but it's important. If you don't add 4, then your site links might not show at all and you'll be missing out. So again, just make sure you have 4 in there. Most importantly, though, from Bram, I discovered he has a monthly newsletter on LinkedIn called Bram's Buzz, where he covers all the latest meta updates and then some like additional news from the month. But yeah, it's super cool, full of insights on the updates and how they work. So definitely worth checking out.
I love the like image he has.
Oh yeah,
like,
so good.
Real
like a
world
reporter.
news reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you find out about his wonderful newsletter?
He tagged us in his latest newsletter. It was Bram's tip of the month.
I cannot believe the Bram Vanderhalen like knows of our existence.
I know.
I just feel like such a celeb.
I know.
He's a power listener of the show and he's in our Discord.
Yeah.
And Julia, your image is done. I made an avatar. So I asked to have an avatar version of you made.
Great.
That looks like AI.
Thank you so much.
Okay. And it is going in the notes right now and will be up on screen. Your thoughts?
Oh, no.
It's kind of Rep Taylor's version.
No.
When she wore the hooded outfit on stage.
It turned you into like half of the avatar like creature.
I'm so scared. Wow.
Do you like it?
Oh, I love it.
Simply stunning.
Honestly, the green eyes, that's my dream. So I appreciate that.
I made another one for you.
Oh.
This is your new headshot.
I swear this other one, though, is like just a different person right there.
I hate that. I hate that.
Yes, I'm gonna make that into a little Slack emoji.
Oh, you do not. Last for social, Caroline Gagrich shares her results on testing LinkedIn video. I cannot. You're done.
He keeps popping it in the notes.
So LinkedIn claims that videos receive 5 times more engagement. So she tested it out and shared her results. Over a course of 90 days, her top 3 performing posts were all videos. And she said that her lowest performing video post by impressions reached almost 3 times more people than her highest performing written post. So her written post did drive more engagement, and she recommends using both to help build your network. And then she also gave some best practices and info on using both formats. So if you aren't trying video on LinkedIn, it's definitely worth a shot.
Okay, I got another option for you.
Great. I cannot wait. I hate that a little less than the last one, but I still don't like
First
it.
one's definitely the best.
Oh,
You'll see all of them if you're watching over on YouTube. Marketingclock.com. YouTube.marketingclock.com.
The one gave you bangs and like nobody asked for that.
Well, yeah, but you know, I'll take the green eyes.
Least of its problems.
And that brings us to our real life segment, straight out of our accounts and into your ear holes. It's time for Working Hard or Hardly Working, where we talk about what's going on in our IRL work, good, bad, or otherwise.
For me this week, this is embarrassing. We have 2 clients named Michael, and I emailed Michael's coworker, and I was going to email Michael. So I had like his coworker who also works with us, went to him, and then went to type in the other Michael, and I did the wrong Michael, a different client. And Gmail said, "Do you mean this different Michael?" They knew.
Wow.
It was really nice.
What a guy.
That's
For me this week is the smart shopping type of PMAX. I think you talked about it last week, but just like PMAX with the shopping feed, we're trying it for a few of our things and it just works so well. So
Well, something not working for me is PMAX as well.
same kind?
Yes. It's we didn't do a brand restriction in it, and it's getting a ton of brand, and the only option we have is to remove it at the exact match at the account level for the PMAX campaigns, because they're in different campaigns than other ones. And just check that. I would say
Yeah.
notable. Make sure. It's a bummer.
Yeah.
Now it's time for this week's ICYMI.
ICYMI people.
This is something you just might not have seen. Maybe something that you overlooked, but you shouldn't have.
ICYMI people from Barry Schwartz and Search Engine Roundtable. A couple of weeks ago, this is ICYMI, Google announced new features for travel search ads through an integration with travel feeds. So now all hotel advertisers can showcase feed data such as hotel prices, dates, ratings, and images in the ad format. And now Barry's actually seeing this roll out live in the SERP. So there's an example, there's like different instances of it, but it's pulling in data from the feed. So there's this example of a hotel in Barcelona that has like their pricing, 108 euros a night for Barcelona. Then there's a hotel in New York City, and they're pulling in ratings and pricing and images into that example. So check it out if you're watching the YouTube video, but if you're in the hotel space, I feel like this is going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
So Google can take some of the money when people book through them.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, nice.
Now it's time for our must-read marketing article of the week. An article so advanced, so in-depth, so detailed that we simply cannot cover it in its entirety on today's show.
This week's must-read marketing article of the week is a guide. You do have to give your information to get it, but if you want to see the 101 meta ads from top DTC brands to inspire your next campaign, don't worry. Customers.ai has you covered. I'm sure it's Casey Gillette. I'm sure she did this. But I think it's just good inspiration. If you want it, you can see 101 different ads and more inspo for you. Hey, term drift, inspo.
Inspiration.
Yeah. If you're interested in it and you're in DTC space, go check it out.
And now on to our playlist of curated songs to work to. You can head over to playlist.marketingoclock.com to listen to Marketing a Playlist. I will be adding Is It Over Now by Taylor Swift.
Is that what you're going to be saying at the concert?
The wait is over. When this episode airs, it will be the day that I'm going to Toronto, and I really think Julia should find a ticket and go too.
I'll do my best.
I'm
Can I
so
just say
excited.
something? I came into work today and you were groaning about how bad your hands
Wait,
are.
this is the story. No, it's my arms, my like upper forearms. And I like do a couple workout videos a week. Okay. I try a little bit. I'm a working mom, but I spend, 2 hours a week working out. I have had this pain and I was like, I did this workout video, Pop Sugar Fitness on Sunday. Like, why is it delayed? What's going on? I think it's because I've been making friendship bracelets at night all week. It's like hurting my arms.
You got DOMs for making Taylor Swift bracelets.
What's the term drift with DOMs? I've never heard.
Oh, delayed onset muscle soreness.
I have it. It's really bad. I'm stretching.
How many with the bracelets, right?
I haven't made that many, so I've probably made like 10 so far. But one is, you'll see. One is the bridge to, it's the first letter of the bridge in The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived. And I really just, all my bracelets, I think other girlies like lay them out and they're like looking. I just like start the bracelet. And I didn't realize it's literally like a necklace to the floor.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It took me 3 hours to make it.
What are you gonna do with it? Just
Wrap it
wrap
around?
it? Yeah.
Some lucky girl at the end of the night will get it and like never know what it means.
They'll know.
I feel like we got to get her some better workout videos.
No,
Yeah.
I think
Or I'll
Taylor
just
Swift
keep making
friendship
the
bracelets
bracelet.
is
There you
great.
go. Okay, I'm happy. For
Okay. Every week I'm asked to pick a song and then I just tell my life story. So, Greg, what's your song?
I'm going to pick a song that we should have done a while ago called Move On by Mike Posner.
Okay. Julia.
All right. I'm gonna add
That
That's
hurt.
So True by Gracie Abrams.
Ooh, I'll see her too.
I'm very excited for you, Shop.
Thank
This
you.
is just a joke. I'm just making jokes.
All right. That does it for today's show.
That's now officially not Marketing O'Clock.
Thanks for listening.
We miss you already.
We can't wait to see you next week.
Thanks for listening to Marketing O'Clock. If you're looking for more information on today's topics, head over to marketingoclock.com/newsletter to receive every single article we covered. We share the news as it breaks in our Discord community. Head over to community.marketingoclock.com to join.
Welcome to this week's Shootin' the Heck. We're after our famous Friday news show. We don't talk about marketing anymore. We just
Shoot the heck.
And this week we are back at it with everyone's favorite game.
What game is that?
It's a draft. And we will be drafting fast food restaurants.
All right, I'm excited.
So we're going to all try to curate the best list. So it must have a drive-through.
I'd like a bacon and egg with muffin, please. Muffin. Muffin.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
the main thing.
Does a pickup window count?
Like Starbucks counts. That's the big one, people.
So Chipotle counts?
I would say
That's fast casual.
If it's a drive-through. Okay, fine. You got to be able to order in line.
Yeah.
okay.
I'm going to go first because I made the
I
game.
know what you're going to pick.
Chick-fil-A. So good.
That's a 1-2 pick.
There's no
There
comparison.
is a comparison, and it's number one. And it's because you started, I get the next pick.
Okay.
And I'm taking In-N-Out because In-N-Out is substantially better than Chick-fil-A.
I don't eat beef.
That's a you problem.
And they have like In-N-Out reminds me of my family's restaurant. Like I found out after that you could order a grilled cheese off menu to like put it on the menu. So all I ate was French fries.
Like, we need to find an In-N-Out in Brighton.
The milkshake was
All
good.
right, now see ya.
Have you ever
we'll,
had it?
We'll do a side quest to
Okay.
go get
Okay.
In-N-Out, animal style.
Okay.
Okay.
It's my dream.
Wait, have you ever had In-N-Out?
No.
Okay.
Okay. My
What's your
first
pick?
one is Shake Shack.
That is a good one. If you like crinkle cut fries.
Yeah, but it's so good.
Okay, and you get another one?
Oh, but I'll go Wendy's.
Wow.
Duh.
I like Wendy's too.
4 for 4.
Stole mine. Okay, well then I'm just going to go well-rounded here. I'm going to go Starbucks. I need some coffee. I can get cake pops for the kids. I need a Starbucks.
Okay, I'm going to take McDonald's.
It's a solid pick.
I wish it was Canadian McDonald's because they have snack wraps. I will never forgive McDonald's for getting rid of the snack wrap.
Snack wrap was great.
It was so good.
Yeah.
Followed by, I like Popeyes.
Oh, no!
Bang.
You're just a chicken machine over there.
Yeah, I don't eat beef.
You really taking Popeyes?
Yeah.
I was about to take Popeyes.
It's
the
even
best chicken.
better if you get the chicken fingers and you put them in the fridge overnight. They're so good, like the next morning.
Yum.
Oh, I really wanted.
I love that chicken.
I really, really wanted Popeyes. I was gonna be so excited. I have the chicken, the beef, the coffee.
Yeah.
No, you just threw me for a loop. I'm gonna go. This is so sad. You know what? No, I'm not gonna be sad. I'm gonna go Arby's.
Oh,
Yeah, what do you like at Arby's? The roast beef?
It's a good option if you're keto like I am now. Gotta look good on stage at Brighton. Down 8 pounds, no big deal. Thanks for
just
asking.
eating Arby's?
No, but like you can eat a lot of like meat. You know what I mean? It's like
Roast beef with no bun.
yeah, roast
I
beef.
shudder at the thought.
Oh, it's great.
Disgusting. It's like a noodle.
It's like a step. There's not a lot of great options left.
Well, do you like Anderson's, the local roast beef here to Buffalo?
That is not a fast food joint.
I think it is. They don't have. They have a
Who-
drive-through
who
now.
listening here is going to be like, oh, Anderson.
Oh well, then you're not gonna like the one I want
Oh,
next. You
well.
probably know what it is then.
Maybe. I'm gonna go Taco Bell next.
I
Makes
can't
sense.
remember the last time I had it.
See, like I don't get it that often, but every time I do, I'm like, wow, it's gross, but it's
Oh,
so
I should
good.
take a Taco Bell.
Yeah,
What do you get?
just whatever I feel like. You know, you can get like 30 things for like
Yeah. For like the spare change in your car.
yeah.
Oh, that was a great pick, Julia.
And then I'm gonna go Sonic.
Sonic is good too.
It's just fun.
I've never been. In all honesty, it looks so confusing. I've never gone.
We have one very close to the office.
Yeah.
The
What do you
beverages are
even
really
do?
good. And when you're like very pregnant, not like I am right now, it's open so late. You can just go get a milkshake at like 11 p.m. Treat
Great.
yourself. It's really good.
Okay, my final pick then. This is across the country. I am going to go with Brugger's Bagels. There are multiple.
Are we going to tell the story?
Of what?
I think it was partially you, but partially also my husband. The way you talked about burgers, because we got a new one in Buffalo, and we low-key don't have a lot of good bagels options. I thought it was like a local establishment.
I thought it was.
And I went to my brother's birthday weekend party in Asheville, North Carolina with all of his friends from all over the country. And I was talking to my other brother and I was like, we got a really good new bagel shop. Have you ever heard of Brugger's? Everyone started laughing at me.
That might have been my fault.
And now it's like lore in my family of like everyone being, oh, favorite New York slice, favorite bagel shop. Like,
Have you had the egg sandwiches?
no. But I like the rosemary bagels and I love the cream cheese flavor.
You gotta
It's
try.
really good.
You gotta try an egg sandwich. So good.
What's so special about them?
It's just they're very, very, very good. Like they're fresh vegetables, all that stuff. It's
Yeah.
very good.
I think you were the one who was like, you made me think it was like a Rochester thing. And then we got one in Buffalo. And then my husband kind of like fed into it. It was so embarrassing.
Okay, that's my final pick. Burgers. Your final pick, Shep.
I'm going to go KFC and round out the chicken selection.
Oh my god.
It really was
Think
very
about
cute.
KFC.
I used to schedule my orthodontist appointments for like 10 a.m. and my mom would take me and then KFC would be open on the way out and I would get it for like an 11 a.m. lunch.
I just like her picking her restaurants. She's like, oh, I can go KFC, Popeyes, Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. And only McDonald's if they have the chicken stack wrap.
I know nobody's gonna vote for you though. People want other than chicken.
People like chicken.
Okay, what are your restaurants?
I have Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Popeyes, and KFC.
I have In-N-Out, Starbucks, Arby's, and then I'm rounding it out with Brugger's.
I have Shake Shack, Wendy's, Taco Bell, and Sonic.
Okay.
If I knew what Sonic was, you'd have a really good.
It's
Good
really
It's
good.
good.
Just believe.
Let us know what you think of our list, and we'll see you next week.
Settle in, sit back, keep it locked.